morning, afternoon or evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. For the people that don't know me, my name's Dan Hamby and I undertake the role of Head of MMiD. 2023 has been a challenging but yet really successful year for MMiD. So I'd like to take this opportunity to personally thank you all for the efforts so far year to date. However, today I'm here to talk to you around our health and safety and the performance of MMiD in 2023. People in MMiD, myself, the management team, don't just treat health and safety as a tick box exercise. It's part of our core values that we should and do live and breathe. We don't do health and safety just because there's a poster on the wall that says we've got to. I'd like now to talk to you around two safety related incidents that affected me personally, one inside and one outside of work. The first one occurred back in September 2002. It was a Tuesday afternoon, Hollyoaks was on the TV and I was sat at my parents' house when the phone rang. I remember all those details ever so vividly due to the news that came from the phone call. The news that came was that my best friend at the time, who was 24, had been involved in an accident at work and unfortunately been killed. At the time, he was coupling a HGV unit to a trailer in a yard, and when he coupled the vehicle up, it descended down an embankment, taking him with it. The cause for that incident was, first of all, a shunter hadn't applied a park brake to a trailer, and for some unknown reason to this day, my friend hadn't applied the park brake to his unit. So when he coupled the vehicle together, it went down the embankment and unfortunately took him with it. 24 years old. I would have described my friend as meticulous, detailed, followed every rule of the book, but for some reason that day, the shunter previous to him and then him himself didn't follow two simple work instructions that unfortunately took his life. At the time, my friend was a father in waiting, 24 years of age, as I've said. The impact that that had as a child with no father, mental scarring for his parents, who has never really come to terms with that incident. But what it did for me is it changed my outlook to safety immediately. The second incident occurred at our site at Sevenside back in December 2015, involving an agency employee who was fully trained, A, on the activities that they were undertaking, and B, the vehicle and equipment that he was using. For some particular day, this reason, once again, a shunter hadn't applied a park brake to a trailer, and the individual involved didn't apply his park brake to the unit. Around 4:30 in the morning, I took a phone call from a shift manager at the time saying that we'd killed somebody. This incident was slightly different. Rather than go backwards, the rig went forwards and went in between two trailers, crushing said individual in between the vehicle and one trailer. This individual suffered life-changing injuries, died twice on the way to hospital, but thankfully was saved. But once again, the impact that that had to myself, the site involved, the personnel that were involved in that incident at the time, emotionally, physically, individuals needed counselling, individuals needed a lot of support, all because of two simple work instructions weren't adhered to again. The reason why I've decided to share those two incidents with you in this video is to hopefully show you how committed I am to health and safety. And every day, all the MMiD employees going home safe. We are seeing far too many colleagues being hurt at work across all functions. The more serious accidents, which can result in injury, such as fractures, or lead to long-term absence, are very high, particularly within our driver workforce. There have been 308 injuries in total this year to date. That includes 27 lost time injuries, which is off work for one or more days, and 36 RIDDOR related injuries, which are off work for 7 or more days or incurring a more serious injury. We're seeing a lot of slips, trips and falls, either from vehicle cabs and tail lifts, in trailers, on docks, or even the ground. back and shoulder injuries from poor manual handling of trolleys, and bruising or worse from being hit by rolling, falling trolleys and bars. We've also seen a number of other potentially very dangerous incidents, such as pre and post checks not being completed, loose wheel nuts on trailers and units, overturns, rollaways, and poor reporting of hazards and defects. It's vitally important to us that you do not suffer injuries that can only keep you off work, but can affect all aspects of your life outside of work and impact negatively on your families too. I want each and every one of you to go home after every single shift uninjured. Please watch this video and take on board the key messages.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Thomas, Head of Operations for MMiD. The more serious accidents that must be reported to the Health and Safety Executive, who are the government regulator for safety in the UK, are known as RIDDORs. They are either colleagues being injured and remaining away from work for over 7 days, or suffering a serious accident such as a fracture to a major bone. Some key facts for 2023 to the end of October 2023. We have had 308 people hurt at work. That's over 14% of all our workforce that have been hurt at work this year, and 36 of these were RIDDOR injuries. Nearly 90% of the RIDDOR injuries happen to drivers. Nearly 50% of these injuries are caused by slips, trips or falls, and another 40% are caused when manual handling, such as muscle injuries to backs, legs and shoulders. 1,320 working days have been lost due to people being off work following an accident. The same causes recorded in investigations repeatedly: failure to follow training, breach of procedure, lack of awareness, equipment failure, poor housekeeping and unsafe acts.
There are 5 key actions that we want you to take away from this presentation. Number 1, always follow your training and only do what you're authorised and trained to do. Number 2, always complete your pre and post equipment checks and never use defective equipment. Always report it. Number 3, always use the correct equipment and personal protective equipment for the job. Number 4, always report hazards, incidents and accidents straight away to help prevent others from being injured. Number 5, always be aware of your surroundings, any hazards including debris, spillages, poor weather conditions and slip and trip hazards. If you think that you can't do your job safely, or there are obstacles to keeping you and your colleagues safe, you must speak up. The following mechanisms are here for you to use: hazard cards, driver debrief, pre-shift chill brief, EVATIX portal and site safety committee meetings. Tell your shift lead, operational manager, safety representative or health and safety manager. To all the shift lead and operational managers, please ensure that you actively promote the reporting of all incidents and that you ensure that these are logged on EVATIX when they're reported. Make sure that thorough investigations are carried out promptly. Evidence such as CCTV, photographs, witness statements should be gathered rapidly and uploaded. Causes should be identified and rectification actions agreed and implemented. It's your responsibility and part of your duties to investigate incidents diligently and thoroughly. Further training will be rolled out into 2024 for you and your teams. Please continue to work together and ensure we have a safe peak and an even safer 2024. Thank you.